Well, hello again. Welcome to Chess-Based Workshop. My name's Steve Lopez. Thank you for clicking the link and joining us. We've been looking over the last several videos that the new Let's Check features of Fritz13. And one of the things that Let's Check encourages you to do is try out new engines to see if they're a little bit faster or if they get a little bit different analysis than engines you currently possess. As you're possibly aware, we've talked about this in the past, you can download free engines from the internet as well as purchase other engines, professional products, commercial products. You can also download free engines that follow the UCI protocol, the Universal Chess Interface. We've looked at this before where you click on Create UCI Engine and it allows you to import an engine that follows that UCI protocol. But what ultimately happens when you do this, and by the way, you can also import Winboard engines with the use of third-party software, which is a much more involved process. So you can get Winboard engines in here as well, but you ultimately wind up with an enormous number of engines if you do this often enough. If you go to Change Main Engine in the Engine menu, go to Change Main Engine or hit F3 on your keyboard, you wind up with a scrolling list of all the engines that you have available to you. And as you can see here, I have a bunch of engines on this computer. So what happens if I decide that I really don't need some of these engines in this list anymore? Do I have to delete them? What do I need to do to get them off this list? Again, using Let's Check, using these new features encourages you to just start accumulating engines just to try them out, try different things with them, see their analysis, see how quickly they analyze, but ultimately you wind up with a really big list and you may not want to use a particular engine anymore. And this is not a particular comment on this particular engine. I'm just going to use it as an example. Let's say that I've been using Aldebaran, which is an amateur engine, one that is on the internet for download, and I don't want to use it anymore. I decide that it's not going to be useful to me. It's just kind of cluttering up my list, making my list just that much longer. Let's say I don't want it on the list anymore. Do I need to get rid of it? Do I need to delete it? The answer is no. There's actually a way to just hide it from this scrolling list, and I'm going to show you how to do that in this chess-based workshop. First thing you do is go to the Engine menu as we see here, and now we're going to go to Engine Management over here on the left-hand side. In this first box in the ribbon called Engine, select Engine Management. Gives you two lists, active and inactive engines. As you can see, I've already moved some engines out of there. I have some really old engines on this machine that I don't use very much anymore, including some really ancient versions of Deep Fritz, for example. So if we go over here, we can go to Active Engines, and we can select Aldebaran from the list, and all we have to do is click this button showing two arrows going to the right, meaning we're going to move it from Active Engines over to the box on the right, Inactive Engines. Very simple. Just click it. There it is. Click OK. And now when we go to Change Main Engine, Aldebaran is no longer listed. Now at some future time, I may decide I want to play around with that engine again. How do I bring it back? You just reverse the process. Engine Management, go to your inactive engines. There's Aldebaran right at the top of the list. Select the two left pointing arrows to move it from inactive over to active engines. Just like that. Very simple. Click OK. Now when we change main engine, scroll back up to the top of the list. There we are. Aldebaran is there again. It's that simple. You're not actually deleting anything. You're just moving it from one list to another. Active engines are what you see in your normal list when you see Change Main Engine. When you click on it, these are the ones you see. If you don't want to see it, but you don't want to delete it, you might want it again later. Don't delete it. Don't go on your hard drive and get rid of the files. Just move it to inactive engines. The thing you need to remember, though, is that everything that's on your inactive engines list is still on your hard drive, and you wind up with a lot of stuff there eventually if you do this for long enough. So you may want to free up some drive space by getting rid of some engines. If you don't figure you're ever going to use them ever again, sure, go ahead and get rid of them. But if you think there might be a use for them at some later time, just move them from inactive back to active or active to inactive if you don't want to delete them. It's that simple. For Chess-Based Workshop, I'm Steve Lopez reminding you to please do have fun